Hello and welcome to my bridge. Yeah, I do live in the middle of literal nowhere. You might see some chickens over here and some gray skies. Fit the mood. I feel like I'm sitting down every couple weeks now and having some crazy conversation with you guys. But the truth is, I used to be embarrassed of them. But the comments that you guys leave me and the stories that you guys have been through have made me so much stronger when it comes to situations that I've been in my life as of lately. Today is definitely one of the first days that I've put clothes on, put makeup on. My birthday was like yesterday, February 20th, which is crazy. It didn't feel like my birthday, but I didn't care. It was chemo day for Molly, and I guess I'm here to tell you what's been going on there, but I think I need to take you back to the very beginning and try not to cry. The year was 2012, and I was a fresh grown-up, and Adam and I was super young when I bought my first house, and before we'd even moved in, we'd applied to adopt this dog named Max, who was a Great Swiss Mountain Dog. He passed away in 2021, and as soon as we got him, I loved him, but I was a little dog person, and my whole life I had pictured having this dog, a little dog named Molly. And I wanted my Molly so bad, so bad. And this story sounds surreal, but it's such a beautiful story, and it's one of the most craziest matrixy things that have ever happened to me. I found this ad on Kijiji, which is like Craigslist here in Canada. I don't know if you have in America. And I saw this ad, and it was for a litter of puppies, and they were Havanese Shih Tzus. My parents had a Havanese, so I just loved the breed. And I went through the pictures, and I found a picture, and it was this little black dog with a little bit of white on it, and I said, that's her. I want her. Her name is going to be Molly. She's going to be everything. And a couple days later, we went to go see the puppies, and when we went, we knocked on the door, and they're like, come on in. And one of the dogs had gotten out of like the enclosure that they had built for them and was barking so loud and running towards me, and I picked up this little tiny puppy, and it was Molly. And I held her up in the air, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the puppy that I want. And she's like, and then the lady, Leanne, who I'm so thankful for, I went, oh, that's just Molly. So her name was already Molly. And it was the most meant to be thing that I ever felt in my life. And it's also the first time in my life where I ever experienced insane anxiety, because it was my first time loving something so deeply. And I lived with this unbelievable pathological fear of her dying. Like, to this day, for the past 11 years, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I just touch her little tummy just to make sure she's breathing. Like, it's unhealthy. It's always been unhealthy. I've never let her stay at a kennel except for once. I've never really been able to be without her. I've turned down a lot of things in my life just because I don't want to be away from her, because in a way, like, I could never have kids. Molly's been my daughter. Like, that's what she was to me. Like, I've had so many dogs, and I've loved them all so much, but they say you get one soul dog in your life, and my soul dog has been Molly. And last week she got a sniffle and she sneezed. I was like, that's weird. I've never seen a dog with a cold before. She was still doing her 2-kilometer walks every day with her grandma. And the next day she threw up, Friday, which isn't out of realm for little dogs. And then Saturday morning, she didn't want to eat. So we went to the emergency vet, and they thought maybe it was pneumonia, that maybe she had aspirated a little bit when she had thrown up or something easy. They say all the things. So, like, cancer's super low on our list. So things just got, like, worse really fast. She started having trouble breathing. She was coughing. She wasn't being herself. She didn't want to walk. She didn't want to eat. She didn't want to do any of these things. And we left the emergency vet. She stayed over on Sunday, which I have never slept in my house without Molly being there. So that was insanity. So we went and picked her up, and they sent her home, but I felt in my soul something was not right. So we got to our vet, and they said, you need to rush her to the university, like the vet college in Guelph, which is a bit over an hour away. So we got there. We had to leave her. She got a bunch of tests done and come home. And just call after call that we got wasn't good. So, like, they were looking at her lungs, and because they like, we want someone else to look at these x-rays, because her liver looked big, her spleen looked big, and her lungs, what they thought was pneumonia. They're like, we want a radiologist to look at this, because it doesn't look like pneumonia to us. At least we need someone else's opinion. She had big lymph nodes, so they wanted to aspirate those and send those cells off. And they wanted to check out what was going on with her lungs. And the first call we get is that her lungs, it was definitely cancer. And then they called and they said they aspirated her lymph nodes, and that was cancer. And then they did a ultrasound, and her liver and her spleen. And the crazy thing is, like, she was fine last week. Like, I've been through a lot in my life, and I've talked about Jackson before. So Jackson was a Jack Russell of ours, and out of nowhere, he was completely fine, and then he had a seizure, and I felt like I never did enough for him, because he couldn't stop seizuring, and we couldn't figure out what it was, so we just put him down. And Max was 11, Jax was 11, now Molly's 11, and the one thing in my life was, I have struggled since 2021 about Jackson, like, really bad. And it's only been the last few months after going to a therapist that I was able to finally, like, find peace with Jackson. And as soon as Molly turned 11, I was like, I really believe in manifesting. And every single night, I just hold her and I say, you're going to die an old lady in your sleep, and you're never going to have a sick day in your life. And I believe in manifesting so much, because I believe I am where I am in my career, in my life, because I really put out into the universe what I want. And the main thing that I've ever always wanted, and I've said, you can have it all. Just don't ever have her live through pain. Don't ever have her live through any of this. So Molly ended up getting diagnosed with stage 5B lymphoma. So that's pretty much like cancer everywhere. When I say devastated, I'm amazed I can even talk about it now. I spent a whole week on the couch. Couldn't talk, couldn't watch TV, couldn't do anything but howl like a dog and panic attack and throw up. And so rewind the Tuesday before my birthday, 7 days before the 20th, we were going in to talk to the oncologist, because the doctor called the night before, and the vet, and I just said to him, because this is my main thing, I said, I need you to tell me if it's time to let her go, because she's given me everything, and I refuse to be selfish and keep her here for me. Because the thing about Molly, if I can go somewhere and she can come, she comes. I love Adam, and Adam knows I love him. It's a different kind of love between him and Molly, but he knows that I've never loved anything in my life the way that I love her, which is, I don't have kids, I don't know, but, like, I feel like that's what it would, for me, it's like my heart's outside my body. But it's just I'm already dealing with so much with the other aspects of my life, and she was my one solid, and I feel like I missed something. But there were times in my life, so back when I had my first miscarriage in 2014, we didn't know what was going on, and Adam wanted to go on this trip with his parents, but he wanted to stay with me because I felt like something was off. But I said, no, like, I need you to go with your family. And then I found out that news, and she was different. Like, she wouldn't get off me. Like, she was such a service dog. Like, she's always been like that. Like, I have Meniere's disease, and, like, she knows when I'm about to get vertigo. Like, she's never been trained. She's never been through anything. But, like, I know when something's up because she starts circling. Like, we're so connected. Like, on another level. Like, past life or something. But she was there for that. And then there was another time when I had surgery. And again, I forced Adam to go on this trip even though we didn't want to. And she knew something was wrong. It's not that she's been a sickly dog, but she's dealt with pancreatitis and she's been on such strict diets. And it's just crazy because I feel like I did everything right. Like, we didn't use pesticides. We fed her the best foods that we could for her. She went for walks. Like, don't say was. She is so loved. And the reason I'm out here right now is I just don't want to have this energy around her. Like, I know she knows I'm devastated. Like, she knows something's wrong. But I can see her. She's on the couch staring at me. But, I just don't want her to feel this energy. But, yeah, we went to meet with the oncologist because the vet said, just hear them out. Because in my head, you hear stage 5, you're like, oh, like, bye. So we met with them, and chemo in dogs is really different than chemo in people. And pretty much it's easier on them, and it works well. And I said, I'm like, do you really think she's a good candidate for this? And they said it's really like a bunch, like 70 to 90% of dogs go into remission. And some of the comments that I've read on TikTok are people are like, yeah, my dog was stage 5 and she's been with me for a year. She's been with me for 3 years. Like, there's these stories, and I just didn't want to put her through it if it was going to hurt her. So we started chemo that day, which was last Tuesday. And she dealt with it really well, and they got her on steroids. And the steroids, like, she went from coughing and having a hard time breathing to, like, you wouldn't know anything's wrong. And that almost hurts because it's like, I feel like I'm getting my hopes up, which I need to, because I'm manifesting. This bridge, this is where I come when I need to talk to whoever's in charge. Just God, the universe, or my spirit guides, or just like I just want this to be a blip on the radar. But these 2 weeks she's done well with chemo. They say the 4th week is going to be the hardest. But right now, like, I can't be away from her. I can't, I have so many things planned for work, and I'm just like, I can't. Like, what do you do? The hardest part is, like, I don't know if we have a week or a month or 3 months or a year or 3 years. Like, there's no time clock, and Adam has been a rock through this, and he had such a weird way of looking at it, which now, like, at first I was mad at, but I appreciate. He's like, it's not good that this happened, but at least we know there's something, so we can appreciate time so much more. Because with Jackson, we didn't know, and we're doing everything that we can, like, everything. They say the 4th week of chemo is going to be the hardest, which for us will be the 1st week of March. And I'm just like, they say a lot of dogs tolerate it well, so I'm just saying, like, she's gonna tolerate it well, and it's worked, and she's good. Because, like, she's 11, and I just thought, like, in my head, I didn't let myself even think about it, other than the fact that she'll be 15, and she'll go to bed, and she just won't wake up one day. Because that's the only way I will be able to handle this. And I know there's some comments talking about all the things that are going on in the world. And I'm sorry for that. I'm so sorry for all of that. But I can't even watch stuff about stuff going on in the world. I feel like that's why I'm out in the country and I'm in the middle of nowhere, because I can't handle knowing, and people want opinions, and it's like, I can't. I think what I'm asking is, if you have a miracle, that goes along the lines of what we're going through. Can you tell me? And can you think of her? And if you pray, can you pray for her? And, I just want to thank you guys for sticking around, because my friends have really been there for me. Chris has really been there for me. Sam and Colby have reached out, which was really nice. A lot of friends have reached out. My manager, everybody has. Everybody's been really good. Because, like, I feel paralyzed. I feel like anytime I walk away from her, even if I go to the bathroom, like, she's always with me. And if she's not following me, like, for 11 years, she's been on my feet. And she's the only one left from the original 3. And, like, I always knew it wasn't forever. Like, I always knew it wasn't forever. That's not logical. But, 11 seems really young for a little Happinies. I just wish the whole world knew her. I wish everybody got to meet her and pet her. Today we went for a first little walk and she did good. It's crazy because she's my dog. But she's been the greatest gift of my life. And even if it's not for a long time, however long she has, I want her to be happy and comfortable. Gear, that's her barking. I love you. Thank you for putting up with my many sad videos. Hopefully they're over soon. And it's all good things, because I try to put good in the world. Not to get it back, but just to hope life flows a little bit smoother. I love you guys. Tomorrow is always a new day. It's giving health, isn't it, Mo Chicken? It's giving cancer who? No? Oh.
Big poo.
Yeah, I said cancer who? We shitted on that cancer, aren't we?
Big poo, cancer who? Big poo.
Big poo, cancer who? Big poo, cancer who? Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Do you poopa-doo, poopa-doo?